Ubuntu used to be the default answer whenever someone asked which Linux distro they should install. For years, Ubuntu was the friendly face of Linux, the operating system that made open source accessible to everyday users, and the distro that helped millions of people escape the limitations of proprietary platforms. It was stable, polished, and backed by a company that promised long-term support, making it ideal for beginners and professionals alike. But the Linux landscape has changed dramatically over the last few years, and today, many users are starting to realize that Ubuntu may no longer be the best choice available. The truth is not that Ubuntu suddenly became bad, but rather that the competition became incredibly strong, innovative, and in many cases more user-focused than Ubuntu itself. To understand why Ubuntu might not be the best Linux distro anymore, we first need to understand why Ubuntu became so popular in the first place. When Ubuntu first appeared, Linux was fragmented and often difficult to install. Many distros required manual configuration, complex partitioning, and a willingness to troubleshoot problems using terminal commands. Ubuntu changed that by providing a simple installer, reliable hardware support, and a polished desktop experience that worked right out of the box. For many people, Ubuntu was their first successful Linux experience, and that created loyalty that lasted for years. However, Ubuntu's direction has gradually shifted in ways that some users are not entirely happy about. One of the most controversial decisions was the heavy push towards snap packages. Snap is a universal packaging format designed to make software installation easier and more secure by isolating applications in containers. While the idea sounds great in theory, in practice Snap applications often start slower, use more storage space, and sometimes feel less integrated with the system compared to traditional packages. Many users feel that Ubuntu prioritizes Snap too heavily, sometimes even replacing traditional packages with Snap versions without giving users a clear choice. This issue becomes even more noticeable when comparing Ubuntu with other Linux distributions that offer faster and more efficient software management. For example, many users praise the speed and flexibility of Arch-based systems. These distros allow users to install exactly what they want without unnecessary components, creating a lightweight system that performs extremely well even on older hardware. While Ubuntu tries to be everything for everyone, some competing distros focus on delivering a streamlined experience tailored to specific user needs. Another reason Ubuntu is losing its dominance is the rise of distributions that focus heavily on user experience and design. In the past, Ubuntu's interface looked modern and appealing compared to other Linux systems. Today, however, many distros provide more polished desktop environments with better customization options and smoother performance. Some Linux systems now look just as refined as commercial operating systems, making them attractive choices for users who value aesthetics and usability. Performance is another area where Ubuntu sometimes struggles compared to its competitors. Because Ubuntu aims to provide a complete experience out of the box, it often includes many background services and default applications that not every user needs. This can make the system feel heavier than necessary, especially on low-powered devices. Other distributions focus on minimalism, allowing users to build their system piece by piece, resulting in faster boot times and improved responsiveness. Security is another aspect where the Linux ecosystem has evolved significantly. While Ubuntu is still considered secure, some newer distributions are built around advanced security concepts, such as immutability. Immutable Linux systems prevent core system files from being modified, which dramatically reduces the risk of system corruption or malware infection. These modern approaches are attracting users who want a system that is both reliable and resistant to unexpected problems. One of the most exciting developments in the Linux world is the emergence of immutable distributions that update seamlessly in the background. These systems allow users to upgrade their operating system without worrying about broken packages or dependency conflicts. This represents a major shift in how operating systems are designed, and many users believe this model represents the future of Linux. Ubuntu has experimented with similar ideas, but other distributions have implemented them more aggressively and with impressive results. Another reason some users are moving away from Ubuntu is the increasing importance of privacy and independence from corporate influence. Ubuntu is developed by a company, and while the company supports open source values, some users prefer community-driven distributions that are fully independent. These community projects often prioritize transparency and user control, which aligns closely with the original philosophy of Linux. Customization is another major factor in the debate about whether Ubuntu is still the best choice. Linux users often enjoy tailoring their system to match their workflow, appearance preferences, and hardware requirements. While Ubuntu allows customization, some distributions provide more flexibility without requiring complex modifications. This allows users to create a truly personalized computing environment that feels unique and efficient. Hardware compatibility used to be one of Ubuntu's strongest advantages, but today many Linux distributions provide excellent hardware support. Modern Linux kernels include drivers for a wide range of devices, making installation easier across multiple distros. As a result, Ubuntu is no longer the only beginner-friendly option that works well on most computers. Gaming is another area where Linux has improved dramatically. Thanks to compatibility tools and improved graphics drivers, many games now run smoothly on Linux. Some distributions even focus specifically on gaming performance, offering optimized kernels and pre-configured tools that make gaming easier than ever. While Ubuntu can certainly run games, it may not always provide the best gaming experience compared to specialized alternatives. Software availability is another factor influencing users' decisions. Ubuntu still has one of the largest software repositories, but many other distributions now offer similar access through universal packaging formats. Additionally, some distros provide faster access to the latest software versions, which is particularly important for developers and enthusiasts who want cutting-edge features. Developers are another group reconsidering Ubuntu as their primary operating system. While Ubuntu remains popular in development environments, some programmers prefer distributions that provide more up-to-date tools and libraries. Having access to the latest programming frameworks can significantly improve productivity, especially in fast-moving fields such as web development, artificial intelligence, and cloud computing. The Linux ecosystem thrives on innovation, and many new ideas are being tested across different distributions. Some focus on minimalism, others on stability, and others on experimental technologies that could redefine how operating systems function. This diversity is one of Linux's greatest strengths, but it also means that no single distribution can dominate forever. Community support is another important aspect of choosing a Linux distro. Ubuntu still has one of the largest communities, with extensive documentation and forums that help users solve problems quickly. However, many other distributions have built strong communities of their own, offering detailed guides, active discussion groups, and helpful tutorials. This means new users are no longer limited to Ubuntu when seeking support. One interesting trend is the growing popularity of distributions designed specifically for beginners, transitioning from other operating systems. These distros mimic familiar layouts and workflows, making it easier for users to adapt to Linux without feeling overwhelmed. This approach reduces the learning curve and encourages more people to explore open-source software. Another factor influencing Ubuntu's reputation is the increasing competition from distributions that focus on stability without sacrificing modern features. Some systems offer long-term support similar to Ubuntu, while also providing newer software versions. This balance between stability and innovation is attractive to users who want reliability without feeling outdated. Cloud computing has also changed how operating systems are used. Many Linux distributions are optimized for cloud environments, offering lightweight installations that maximize performance and efficiency. While Ubuntu remains popular in the cloud, other distributions are gaining attention for their flexibility and optimization. The concept of atomic updates is another innovation shaping the future of Linux. Instead of updating individual packages, atomic systems update the entire operating system as a single unit. This reduces the risk of broken dependencies and ensures consistent performance across updates. Many users appreciate this approach because it simplifies maintenance and reduces the likelihood of system errors. Another reason Ubuntu is sometimes criticized is the perception that it tries to control too many aspects of the user experience. Some users feel that certain decisions are made without sufficient community input. In contrast, community-driven distributions often allow users to influence development priorities more directly. Despite these criticisms, Ubuntu remains an excellent operating system that continues to introduce new users to Linux. It is stable, widely supported, and suitable for a variety of tasks. However, the increasing number of high-quality alternatives means that Ubuntu is no longer automatically the best choice for every user. Choosing the best Linux distro ultimately depends on individual needs. Some users prioritize stability, while others value performance, customization, or access to the latest software. The good news is that Linux offers an incredible range of options, allowing users to find the perfect match for their requirements. As Linux continues to evolve, competition between distributions will drive innovation and improve the overall user experience. This benefits everyone, regardless of which distro they choose. Whether someone prefers Ubuntu or another Linux system, the growth of open-source software ensures that users have more freedom and control over their computing environment than ever before. The idea that Ubuntu is no longer the best Linux distro is not a criticism of Ubuntu itself, but rather a reflection of how far the Linux ecosystem has progressed. What was once the obvious choice is now just one option among many excellent alternatives. This diversity demonstrates the strength of open-source collaboration and highlights the exciting future of Linux. In the end, the best Linux distro is the one that meets your specific needs, supports your workflow, and provides a reliable and enjoyable computing experience. Ubuntu still plays an important role in the Linux world, but it is no longer the only standout option. The rise of innovative distributions has created a competitive environment that encourages continuous improvement, ensuring that Linux remains one of the most powerful and flexible operating systems available today. The future of Linux looks brighter than ever, with new technologies, improved performance, and a growing community of users who value freedom, privacy, and customization. Ubuntu helped bring Linux to the mainstream, but the next generation of Linux distributions is pushing the boundaries even further, redefining what an operating system can achieve and proving that the open-source movement continues to thrive.